Okay, let us discuss Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, verse number 20. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यं शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन्. So the soul neither gets born nor gets dead nor dies. So the soul neither is born nor accepts death at any point of time. The soul neither has come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. That means the soul is not created, the soul is not created now, not created in the past, will not be created in the future. The soul is unborn. That means there is no birth of the soul that happens. The soul is eternal, ever existing. That means it existed ever since. That means it has been existing since time immemorial and for the rest of the eternity. Ever existing and primeval, it's the source of the life, and the soul is not slain. That means the soul does not undergo death when the body undergoes the death. So the qualitatively, if you see, the soul is a small atomic fragmental part of the Supreme Spirit or the Supreme Spirit soul. The soul does not change. That's why the soul is called Kutastha. Kutastha means that which does not undergo any kind of changes. The body undergoes 6 kind of changes. The body is born, the body grows, stays for a while, maintains, produces some byproducts, dwindles, and dies. So these kind of 6 changes happen only with the body. These kind of changes do not happen with the soul. That means the soul does not take birth, the soul does not grow in size, the soul does not create any byproducts, the soul does not dwindle, the soul does not die. All the things that is happening with the body, that does not happen with the soul. That means the soul has no creation, it has no birth, it has no death, it is eternal, it is ever existing, and it is primeval. The soul has no history. The soul has no history, and the soul does not get old. Just like we become old, the soul does not get old. So it's like a person when he is in the childhood has got a lot of energy, has got a lot of spirit, has got a lot of energy, and then full of life and all that. The same person grows old, the body becomes incapacitated, but the soul that is there within the body is still fresh. The person wants to do a lot of things but is not able to do because of the limitations imposed by the body. Not that the soul loses any of its energy. The soul does not change along with the change of the body. That means the changes of the body does not affect the soul. It's like we were a small age, let's say a small baby, and then we grow up to a small boy or a girl, and then after a while we become young, youthful, and then become old. The soul does not undergo such changes. The soul does not change along with the bodily changes. Body develops with the presence of the soul. That means at the time of conception, the soul takes rest within that body. That is how the body of the baby gets developed. That is how the body of any living entity develops. Until the soul takes rest, soul resides within that particular body, there is no growth that is possible. There is no growth that happens there. Soul does not have offshoots. Just like you put a plant and then a banana will have a lot of offshoots. People will have a lot of children. So like that, soul does not create offshoots, does not create multifarious souls along as offshoots. Consciousness is the symptom of the soul. As long as the soul is there within the body, we develop consciousness, we have consciousness. So you can give an example that if there is a pinprick at the foot, we understand. So whether it is a small ant or a microbe, the pain is understood by the individual body. Whether it is a big elephant or a blue whale of a big size, they also understand the pain happening any part of their body. It's not that they do not understand. They understand that entire situation that is happening. So even if the soul, for example, for humans the soul is residing within the region of the heart, but the soul resides within the body of a particular living entity. The soul not necessarily limited to reside within the body in the exact part of the soul, in the exact part of the heart, because human body has got a heart, and there are many living entities, many species, those who have got heart. But what about those who do not have a heart? Where does the soul reside? Now soul resides by taking its own place. That is not important where does the soul reside. Now if you look at a tree, for example, so in a tree, until you cut the trunk and then uproot the tree is not going to grow back, right? So until the time the tree is growing back, that means the soul is still there. And at the point when the soul and the tree does not grow back, that means the soul is gone. So there are different living entities in which the soul resides in different locations of the body, but then the soul is there, and that is how the consciousness develops, and that is how the body grows or sustains. Just like the sun gets covered by the clouds, but still we know that it's the daytime. Similarly, as long as the soul is there, the body is conscious, the body is live, the body is animating, the body is acting, the body is doing a lot of things. So as long as the soul is there within the body is continuously functioning. Soul's consciousness is different from the consciousness of the super soul. Super soul, the soul only knows what happens within the body. Super soul knows what is happening in the entire body of the cosmos, entire body of the creation. The soul knows literally every part of the body, every part of the creation. The super soul knows. The soul only knows the limited part of the body in which the soul resides in the present time. So the super soul knows the past, present and future. As a embodied soul, we are forgetful. The soul in itself is completely knowledgeable, but the moment the soul gets encapsulated within a material body, the soul tends to forget. The soul loses the memory, right? Soul loses the memory does not mean that we lose memory of things of this body, but ever since the soul has been existing from several lifetimes, there is a tendency that is developed with the association of matter. The soul tend to forget, but the super soul does not forget. The creator does not forget. Now if super soul, if Krishna had to used to forget, then Gita loses all its importance, because Gita was spoken by Krishna, and Krishna, being the super soul sitting in the heart of each and every living entity, knows what is going on in each and every living entity's life. So like that, the super soul knows entirety of the entire creation completely, past, present and future, but the soul tends to forget. The soul has, because of the association of matter. Soul, if it is separate from association of matter, will not forget. That is how the constitutional position of the soul. So there are two kinds of soul we are discussing. One is called Anu Atma, that's the individual soul that we have, and there is a Vibhu Atma. Vibhu Atma is called Paramatma, that's the super soul, that's the supreme consciousness or God. So both are sitting on the same body of the tree, same bodily tree. If we consider this particular body as a tree, so if there are two birds sitting on a tree, so they are sitting on the same tree. So it basically means that super soul and the soul both are sitting in the same body, residing in the same body. And one who is free from the material desires and lamentations acquires the qualification to know the soul. One who is free from the desires and lamentation of material nature has got the qualification or acquires the qualification to know the soul. The atomic soul, being forgetful, needs to seek knowledge from the super soul, and that's how Arjuna is seeking knowledge from Krishna. Krishna being the super soul, Arjuna being the soul, Anu and Bibhu. So Bibhu is passing on the knowledge to the soul. That's how the knowledge is acquired, through the means of this knowledge. So thank you. Catch you up in the next one. See you.